At just 14, Stefon Diggs lost his father. But instead of falling apart, he rose to greatness. This is the incredible story of how tragedy turned into triumph, launching Diggs into NFL stardom.
Trying to make it 4. Allen, deep shot! Over the shoulder grab! Stefon Diggs!
A father's vision. One day, he'll have shoeboxes full of recruitment letters. Those weren't just dreams from Aaron Diggs. They were destiny. In Alexandria, Virginia, he wasn't just raising a son. He was shaping a legacy. But no one could predict how his sudden absence would ignite one of football's most surprising comebacks. The day everything changed. January 2008. 14-year-old Stefon Diggs sat in a hospital room, his world unraveling as his father, just 39, lost his battle with heart failure. Before he passed, Aaron made Stefon promise something, a promise that would change everything. Oh my God! What happened next? It would push a teenager to the edge. From boy to man, the hidden years. While other teens worried about school dances, Stefon was living two lives. By day, he was a rising football star. By night, he was the man of the house, raising his siblings, including future NFL star Trayvon. But here's what most don't know. Stefon would sneak out at midnight, turning his pain into his power. What drove him? The hidden struggles. Stefon Diggs' rise to NFL greatness wasn't just shaped by his father's vision. It was also deeply influenced by his mother, Stephanie. After the tragic loss of his father, she stepped up, becoming the quiet force that held the family together. But here's the untold part. What sacrifices did Stephanie make to ensure Stefon could chase his dreams? How did her strength in the shadows give Stefon the resilience to push through unimaginable hardship? As we dive into this hidden chapter of his story, one question remains. What role did Stephanie truly play in shaping Stefon into the man he is today? The numbers don't tell the full story. Stefon Diggs' high school stats were jaw-dropping. 810 receiving yards and 23 touchdowns as a junior. 1,072 yards and 10 touchdowns as a senior, all while clocking a blazing 4.43 40-yard dash. What the fuck? But these numbers don't tell the real story. Behind them was a 17-year-old carrying more than just a football. He was carrying his father's legacy, the hopes of his family, and a promise made in the most heartbreaking moment of his life. So what drove this young athlete to push through unimaginable pain and transform it into power? How did he rise from loss to greatness, defying all odds? The decision that shocked college football. When recruitment letters flooded in, Aaron's prophecy became a reality. Ohio State, Florida, USC, every powerhouse wanted Stefon Diggs. But then, in a move that stunned the football world, he made a shocking choice. Maryland. Why would a five-star recruit turn down national contenders for a struggling program? The answer wasn't just about football. It was a promise to his father, one about loyalty, family, and carrying a legacy. What was it that made Stefon Diggs choose this path, and how would it shape the course of his life and career? The Maryland years, triumph and trial. At Maryland, Stefon Diggs wasn't just a player, he was a game changer. As a freshman, he racked up an impressive 848 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns, electrifying fans and setting records. But those stats are just the surface. What they don't show are the weekends he spent driving home to mentor his younger brother Trevon, or the nights spent juggling playbooks and family responsibilities. That's crazy. Then came his sophomore year, an injury-plagued season that could have ended everything. Instead, it set the stage for one of the most inspiring comebacks in college football. How did Diggs turn setbacks into stepping stones to greatness? The draft day betrayal.
The Minnesota Vikings select Stefon Diggs.
145 players. That's how many names were called before Stefon Diggs in the 2015 NFL Draft. Picked in the 5th round by the Minnesota Vikings, Diggs wasn't just an underdog. He was overlooked, underestimated, and ignored. But instead of breaking him, this moment lit a fire. But how did a player drafted so late go on to rewrite the NFL's narrative and make teams regret passing him up? What followed wasn't just a career. It was a revenge tour that would leave the entire league stunned. The Viking Warrior emerges. By week 4 of his rookie season, Stefon Diggs wasn't just stepping onto the field, he was making NFL history. In back-to-back games, he exploded for over 100 receiving yards, becoming the first Vikings rookie since the legendary Randy Moss to achieve such a feat. What the fuck? But this wasn't just about numbers, it was about impact. How did a 5th-round pick go from being overlooked on draft day to drawing comparisons to one of the greatest wide receivers of all time? The Minneapolis Miracle. More than just a play.
Pass is caught! Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable!
January 14th, 2018. Just 11 seconds left on the clock. The Vikings trailed the Saints, their playoff hopes hanging by a thread. Then, it happened. Stefon Diggs leaped into the air, snagged a pass, and sprinted 61 yards into the end zone as the clock hit 0. The Minneapolis Miracle wasn't just a game-winning play. It was the moment Stefon Diggs transformed into a football icon. But when he stood in the end zone pointing to the sky, the world saw a celebration. Only his family knew the deeper meaning behind that gesture. So what made this play more than just luck? The Buffalo years. From hero to villain?
Things heated up between the Minnesota Vikings and the Buffalo Bills, ending with Stefon Diggs being traded to Buffalo.
When Stefon Diggs was traded to Buffalo in 2020, it wasn't just a new chapter, it was a rebirth. In his debut season, he didn't just adapt, he dominated, leading the NFL with 127 receptions and 1,535 yards. A $96 million contract extension soon followed, solidifying his place as one of the league's premier wideouts. Oh my God! But what seemed like the perfect fit began to crack. Despite the success, whispers of tension and unanswered questions surrounded his time in Buffalo. Was it about the playbook, the locker room, or something deeper? The truth behind his Buffalo exit reveals a story few saw coming. Brothers in arms, the Diggs dynasty. As Stefon was making waves in Buffalo, a new story was unfolding in Dallas. His brother, Trevon, the same kid Stefon once trained in their backyard, was rising to stardom as one of the NFL's elite cornerbacks. The Diggs brothers weren't just chasing individual success, they were building a football legacy their father had envisioned. But here's the twist. How did these two brothers from different teams turn their shared history into a dynasty in the making? The bond that shaped their careers goes far deeper than football, and the true impact of their journey is just the beginning. The promise kept. Today, when Stefon Diggs takes the field in Houston, he's not just playing for himself or even his team. He's playing for the prophecy made by a father who saw greatness in his 5-year-old son. He's playing for the promise made by a 14-year-old boy who had to become a man overnight. And he's playing to prove that sometimes the greatest stories aren't just about where you end up, but about who you become along the way. As the next chapter unfolds in Houston, one thing is clear. Aaron Diggs didn't just predict his son would get recruitment letters. He prophesied a legacy that continues to unfold. The question isn't whether Stefon Diggs will succeed in Houston, it's how much higher the prophet's son will soar. Stefon Diggs, family, fatherhood, and romance behind the NFL stardom. Stefon Diggs has a 6-year-old daughter, Nova, born on October 14, 2016, with his ex-girlfriend Tyler Marie, a talented singer and songwriter. Despite their split shortly after Nova's birth, Stefon remains an active and loving father, even bringing Nova along to contract negotiations with the Buffalo Bills. While there were rumors of reconciliation between Stefon and Tyler, the two have stayed cordial, co-parenting with love. On the romantic front, Stefon is currently dating actress Tay Heckard, keeping their relationship private, but rumored to be on and off since 2019. What's next for Stefon Diggs in both his family life and career? Major injuries and resilience. Stefon Diggs' NFL career has been marked by a series of injuries that tested his resilience. In 2016 alone, he suffered a groin strain, knee strain, and hip sprain, forcing him to miss several games. The following year, a re-aggravated groin injury sidelined him again, while a rib bruise in 2018 kept him out for another game. His most significant injury came in 2021 when he tore an abdominal muscle and played through it in the postseason, followed by a knee sprain during the offseason. Despite these setbacks, Diggs has continued to shine on the field. But what if these injuries had derailed his career? What drove him to keep bouncing back every time? The answers are still unfolding. A new chapter in Houston. What's next for Stefon Diggs' career? Stefon Diggs has already shattered expectations, rising from a fifth-round pick to one of the NFL's elite wide receivers. Now, as he joins the Houston Texans, Diggs faces a new challenge. Will his connection with rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud turn the Texans into a playoff contender? After leading the NFL with 127 receptions and 1,535 yards in his first year in Buffalo, Diggs is poised to make an even bigger impact in Houston. But what's next? Is this move just about football, or could it also mark a personal reinvention for the star receiver? With career stats of 10,491 receiving yards and 57 touchdowns, Diggs has proven his capability for greatness. The question is, can he elevate Houston to new heights? And what legacy will he leave behind in this fresh start? The future of Stefon Diggs in Houston remains an open loop, waiting to be closed. If Stefon Diggs' journey left you inspired, make sure to hit that subscribe button now. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Trust me, the next chapter will blow your mind.